Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Mayor's weekly press conference. For this week's agenda, we will announce a memorandum of understanding with Gannon University, highlight a request for proposals to receive evaluation of the Erie Waterworks, showcase the city's Golf Appreciation Day events and events throughout the city, announce the opening of a new grant program for the Department of Economic and Community Development, and provide an update on LERTA. Now I'll turn it over to the Mayor. Mayor?
Thank you much, Frank, and good morning, everyone. I'm happy to announce today that a brand new partnership exists now between Gannon and the city. The work Gannon students will do over the next several months will give us a clear picture of property conditions throughout the city of Erie. Most importantly, we will identify every property in Erie that is blighted. Eric Romallo is Director of the Community and Government Relations and Academic Affairs for Gannon. Erica is also a member of the Our West Bayfront Board. Erica will now give us an overview of this new program. Erica.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Mayor. Again, my name's Erica Romallo. I'm Director of Community and Government Relations at Gannon University, and Gannon is thrilled to be partnering with the City of Erie, with special thanks to the Community Foundation for allowing us to pay our students for this opportunity. The Mayor's office and Kathy Rosdeck have been talking with us for quite a bit about how to improve engagement with our students so they're walking away from their classes with a deepened understanding of what civic engagement means to them. Not just here while they're getting their degrees, but so that it's part of who they are when they leave the university, no matter where they end up in their career. Service has always been a part of our mission at the university, and this connection with the city is a critical one that we have never had at this level before. So we are so pleased that our students are taking part in our urban revitalization by tracking how the improvements have been since Erie Refocused came out a couple years ago. The students are being trained by Kathy Rosdeck, by Crystal Otworth, and by other members of the city to walk house by house and assess the conditions of every single residential unit in the city of Erie. The training will begin very soon, and the students will be working about 10 hours a week in pairs, walking the city block by block. We anticipate that this will be completed in about 5 months, hopefully by June. We have about 10 students who are signed up to do this. I am certain that when they reflect on this opportunity they have, they will be thrilled to learn more about our city. I mean, we are neighbors, you are our neighbors, and we're grateful for the opportunity. They will be using a software tool called Survey 123 that Kathy and her team have developed. It's very specific that they will ask questions, they will assess the conditions, they will assess the sidewalk. It's a very specific tool that's been tested by the city already. We're very grateful for the opportunity. Our students are excited, and this will help them fulfill internship requirements for their degrees. Are there any questions that I can answer? Very good. Mayor, thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Erica. Your work and the work of the Gannon students will really be giving us a better sense of property conditions all around the city. The information your students provide will help us make good, data-driven decisions to make sure that all Erie neighborhoods become welcoming and vibrant. And as you mentioned, students will also be paid a stipend thanks to a Helping Today grant from the Erie Community Foundation. I'd like to recognize and thank Patrick Herr, who's here with us. Can we give Patrick and the Community Foundation a round of applause? Pat, we really appreciate your support and the Community Foundation's support. Next, we are now requesting proposals for a comprehensive valuation of the Erie Waterworks. We are seeking proposals from professional water utility appraisers to determine the value of the Erie Waterworks, to determine how long it will take to value the waterworks, and how much they would charge for a completion of the valuation. The RFP is now open and available at the city's website, cityof.erie.pa.us. The deadline for submissions is Tuesday, February 4th at 2 p.m. You may recall that during the budget sessions last year, I had proposed allowing Erie Waterworks to prepay their lease. This lease prepayment to the city would have generated approximately $90 million. The city would still retain ownership of all the waterworks infrastructure, though. The majority of city council wanted a valuation of the Erie Waterworks completed before deciding about the lease payment. The appraisal of the Water Authority will tell us the true value of all of Erie's water assets. Now, please understand, repayment of the lease will not impact the financial stability of the Erie Waterworks. Instead of making a lease payment to the city each year, the waterworks will make a loan payment in the exact same amount each year. We hope that as soon as the appraisal is completed, City Council will act quickly to approve the prepayment of the lease during the second quarter of 2020 before interest rates go up. Now, here's why we're doing this. The amount of the prepayment will be used to pay down city debt. If interest rates go up, and the amount the Water Authority can borrow will go down. Based on current interest rates, the prepayment will reduce the city's annual debt payments by at least $6.4 million. That will save the city over $90 million over the next 30 years. This will solve one of the three major financial problems that PFM identified in the city budget, that being the amount of debt we have and the amount of the payments on it. There are many fun events going on in downtown Erie and really across the whole city this weekend. Here to give us more rundown on all the fun happenings is our media and innovation strategist, who is also a man committed to always having fun, Frank Stramilla. You didn't know I was going to say that?
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah. I do like having fun. So as the mayor had mentioned, there are many awesome and great events happening throughout the city and the surrounding areas this weekend, and I'm going to get right into it. First, I invite you all to swing on down to Downing Golf Course this weekend because it's Golf Appreciation Day. It's going to happen from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All players who purchase the 2020 season ticket and all prospective 2020 season ticket buyers should attend. Come out and enjoy the day with friends and fellow golfers. You can even get a $25 off the purchase price of a 2020 season ticket. So I guess you might have should have waited, I guess. Next, Welcome to the Jungle Public Skate will take place Friday, January 24th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the newly renovated Flo Fabrizio Ice Center. It's time to break out your animal print attire and skate and jam out to some wildly good tunes. You can find out more information at the eriezoo.org/ice center. And our own Jennifer Hoffman, Business Development Officer, will be one of the hosts this Friday for WQLN's Travel, Leisure, and Wine Auction. You can find more information about that at WQLN.org, and that will happen Friday night. Saturday is jam-packed, so we'll start off with the 25th Presque Isle Snow Day taking place at 10 a.m. That's going to run all day. There's lots of events for everyone, and they say snow or no snow, and it's free to attend. You can find more at discoverpresqueisle.com. And finally, our Erie Otters are hosting a Pride Night on Saturday. You can get this cool little t-shirt they let me borrow and hopefully keep. And game night is at 7 p.m. You can get tickets by visiting ottershockey.com or go to the Erie Insurance Arena box office. That wraps it up for me, Mayor, so thank you for letting me have a little more fun.
Thanks, Frank, and I'm especially happy that there's a lot to do this weekend because Saturday is my wife Rhonda's birthday, so we'll be able to be entertained. Also, Frank neglected to mention this for some reason, but as part of his birthday celebration, he is having a get-together, a birthday showcase of photos he's taken over the years. That will be at Art Lure Studios this Friday from 7 to 10. So tomorrow from 7 to 10, if you've got nothing to do, you might want to go out and take a look at some of Frank's photos. Next, I'm excited that you'll be hearing right now from our Director of Community and Economic Development, Chris Groner, and our Business Development Officer, Jennifer Hoffman, about a brand new fund they've created to aid workforce development in the city of Erie. Jen will also provide a reminder about the deadline for the flagship applications. Chris, I think you're going to go first, right?
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. As you've heard me say before and many times before, the city's Department of Economic and Community Development continues to look for new ways to provide assistance to businesses, which will help encourage new growth and investment and create overall a better business climate in the city. We've looked for gaps in the economic development system and have sought ways to fill those voids in the past when possible. And so as we look to fill those gaps and build capacity, we always start with an assessment of the current economic development tools that we have. And these tools typically fall into three main categories. The first one being finance and capital, second one being workforce development, and third being site control, which is a redevelopment activity and having an inventory of commercial properties. We feel we have a direct role to play in those first two categories. Third category of real estate redevelopment and site control, our office doesn't really have or is structured for that, but we do feel we have a role to play in finance and capital and workforce development. And in the first couple of years, we worked hard to expand that capacity. It started with the creation of the Flagship Fund, which was the city's first ever grant program designed to directly assist small businesses and startups. We then launched the Commodore Fund, which was a way to support larger job-creating projects. We also recommitted to funding small business facade grants. We also created additional flexible financing tools, such as the Business Development Revolving Loan Fund, which gave us a great complement to our existing Enterprise Zone Fund. Further built out and developed an infrastructure development financing tool. And of course, last year, the expansion of LRTA. But momentarily, we'll be announcing in detail our first initiative aimed at that second category of workforce development. We believe that the city should be supporting and incentivizing the creation of new training and new training opportunities for city businesses and our residents. This ultimately, we believe, will lead to new hirings and promotions for incumbent workers, and overall, greater prospects for both the employers and the workers. Incentivizing this workforce and training investment will also help to create the skills that are needed for those higher wages. New job creation will remain a central goal, of course, but to us, we feel it's equally important to address the workforce and labor challenges that exist today. Creating new jobs is obviously a goal, but there are many good jobs right now that go unfilled. And because of a mismatch in skills and a lack of training opportunities, we feel that there's definitely a need for this. Workforce development is obviously an enormous challenge, and certainly no single program is going to solve those challenges of structural unemployment, but we believe we have a role that we can play. We know that this new program, along with any program on its own, may not be meaningful for every business and worker, but we do believe it will be meaningful for some, and for that reason we felt a need to move forward. I also believe we have an obligation to reinvest the funds that our department generates through our economic development activity, to reinvest those funds into the city's businesses and citizens. Much like the Flagship and Commodore Fund, the new City Training Assistance Program, or TAP, will be supported by the activity of our economic development loan funds, and we'll be investing in opportunities that ultimately could lead to higher wages for our residents and better labor readiness for our businesses. And before I turn it over to Jen for details on it, I'd like to thank a few people who provided their comments and suggestions, took time out of their schedules to review our drafts. Thank you to Deputy Secretary of Labor and Industry, Eileen Cipriani, Apprenticeship and Training Field Representative for Labor and Industry, Jim Reese, members of our Mayor's Business Council who provided a lot of valuable feedback. They're going to be on the other end of this program, hopefully, and so they provided a lot of good detail as to how they think it would help them. I'd also like to thank Councilwoman Kathy Schaaf and Liz Allen for their suggestions and support. and their editing. And so at this point, I would like to invite up our Business Development Officer, Jen Hoffman, to give us some details on the city's training program. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chris, very much. I'm here to talk kind of about the nuts and bolts of the new program and give you some details. The City Training Assistance Program is the city's first ever grant program for workforce development, and it's specifically designed to support and realize several elements of the mayor's vision. Excellent education for everyone, an abundance of family-sustaining jobs, and ultimately that the City of Erie is a community of choice. If you are a business in the city looking to hire residents in the city, with this grant, we can certainly help. This grant fund was established to provide financial assistance to support job readiness and training to startups and demonstrated businesses from any sector, as long as they can present an established plan or an outline for adding and expanding job training for permanent positions within their organization. Funding awards will be granted for up to $2,500 per trainee. A maximum grant award per company currently is $5,000. So we're looking at 2 trainees per year that we can help you finance. All funds are subject to a 1-to-1 match, and they are reimbursement based. Okay, on to eligibility. Who can apply for this help? You need to be a registered business in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania with a physical address within the city limits. Your trainees that you would like to bring on board need to be residents of the City of Erie. You need an established plan or outline for the hiring of permanent employees that require training and processes above and beyond the probationary period for a new employee. So what we are asking is that when you apply for this grant, that the employees that you would like to apply this to would have already made it through their 90-day probationary period or whatever probationary period your company institutes. The business must agree to maintain its operation in the City of Erie for a period of 5 years from the start date. And finally, the new jobs will be deemed created when the wage of each new employee hired due to the City TAP grant equals or exceeds $15 an hour. We're looking to promote a more family-sustaining wage for our city residents. How can this grant be utilized then? You can use this grant for specialized equipment, for computer hardware or software, consultation services, including ESL, English as a Second Language classes, or other specialized instruction that your new trainees might need. You can use this to buy materials for training, such as books or safety equipment, tools, things like that. But also you can supplement hourly wages for diminished productivity during the extended training time of specific positions. That's kind of a mouthful, right? So what we're talking about is that if you have, or when you have a trainee that you want to apply this grant to, they've made it through their 90-day probationary period. They do need a little extra time in training or supervision. What we're looking to do is help supplement that trainee's hourly wage for a period of about 90 days more, so that you, as a business, don't suffer a productivity loss. So we're trying to help out a little bit with that. This can also supplement training costs for an advancement of incumbent workers. So we're not talking about just new trainees that are coming in. If your company has a worker that is interested in moving up or changing positions, they're somebody that you feel that an investment is going to benefit everyone involved, you can apply for this grant as well. And we can help to defray some of that training cost or to supplement some of that productivity cost in wage. It's then will result in them having an increase in hourly wage, and should open starting positions in your company as well, so that we can bring more people in at a higher wage level. Grants will be committed and funded in a competitive manner, as usual. It's got a rolling application date, so as needed, please do apply. And it will be, they'll be granted based on availability of our annual funds. Applications will be available on the city's website very soon. We will have, it will be housed under the grant pages under the Department of Economic and Community Development. In the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. You can reach me at 870-1275, or at jhoffman@erie.pa.us with any questions if you want to discuss your eligibility or the parameters of this grant. As always, I'm looking forward to working together and continuing to promote Erie as a community of choice. And one more thing while I'm here, the Flagship Fund grant deadline's on January 31st, so that's coming up pretty quickly. If your business is interested in applying for that grant of up to $5,000, please log on to the City of Erie website, take a look at the grant page, fill that out, or you can call me at that number as well, and I can walk you through the process. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Chris and Jen. I really appreciate you using interest on your approximately $12 million loan fund in a way like this to really help us realize two elements of our vision, our excellent education for everyone and our abundance of family-sustaining jobs. And I think you are really helping to make Erie a community of choice. Thank you very much for what you're doing. It's my hope, really, that this program will continue to grow as Chris has envisioned, and at some point in the near future, we'll have 100,000 available for these types of grants. That would support 30 to 50 new workers in Erie every year. I also look forward to seeing all the applications and announcing the winners for the Flagship Fund in February. And as Jen mentioned, remember the deadline for applications is only 8 days away. It's next Friday, January 31st. Also, I want to thank our City Council people, Chris Schaaf and Liz Allen, for being here and attending, and also our controller, Teresa Stankiewicz, who's in the back as well. Lastly, we had no new LERTA applications last week, so as of yesterday, January 22nd, in the 28 weeks since we put the new LERTA in on July 3rd of last year, we've had 91 LERTA applications with a total investment of $27,444,018 in Erie. One last thing before we close, I want to let everyone know there will be no press conference next Thursday. I look forward to our next press conference, which will be Thursday, February 6th. It's hard to believe we're getting into February already. That wraps up today's press conference. Everyone that spoke is available for interviews. Thanks to everyone for being here.